Hey everybody, it's your man Type coming to you with another true spook story. Now, before I begin, let me ask that you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share me with your friends and family. Well, this story is going to take place in the Orlando, Florida area off Ivy Lane Road, directly across the street from Magic Fry, little Chinese joint we used to go and get food at when we were small. It's still there, y'all. Still there. Well, so there was this warehouse directly across the street from Magic Fry. And they had like a tire shop and everything back in the day. It was ran, the whole entire warehouse district was ran by like some Guyanese people. And these Guyanese people, they didn't really fuck with regular African American blacks or project blacks. They had their own little community back then. So they was chilling out over there and stuff. So they would on Saturday, Friday, they would throw parties and shit out of the garages where they was doing the tires and but because the whole warehouse, everything off the road all the way back, they virtually owned the bitch. The tire shop is still there too, but I don't know if it's changed owners or not. So I'm heavy in the dope game around by that time. You know what I'm saying? I'm in my like 20, I'm 22, 23, probably 24 to the most. So I'm heavy into selling dope. I'm heavy into being that hot boy out there on the street. I'm doing my thing. So I go and they say, hey man, tight. How about you go get us some coke, bitch, so we can ride out? I say, cool. So I went to one of my people, man, got him some coke and shit, and I dropped it off over there. So when I dropped it off over there, and I ain't never heard no shit like this, people. So y'all gotta bear with me. And for the guy needs people out there, if I'm saying something wrong, doing something wrong, I'm just telling you exactly what the fuck happened. So it is what it is. So when I came and brought the coke, and I brought them a nice little brick of the bitch, right? They came up to me and they say, hey, you have to go lay some down at this altar. Now, when they told me I need to lay some down at this altar now, I wasn't, I'm like, okay, these ain't my deity. These ain't the Orishas. These ain't grandma and them altar. This is some Hindu type shit, Krishna, Shiva, the 100 hand people, So I'm like, okay, no, all right. So I'm like kind of spooked out, but shit, I'm a real nigga at this time. So fuck it, let's ride. I'm getting my money, I get my cut, I'm getting the hell out of here. So I sit up there and they say, hey, tight, before you hand it off to me, because it was going to be used in the ceremony. They say before you, the one who bring it, the bringer of gift, they could call me the bringer of gift, the bringer of life. They had some kind of talk for it in they language, but translated virtually in the bringer of gifts or the supplier of gifts or something like that. So they say since you the bringer of gifts, you have to go over there and you have to put some on the table. You have to give the offering to Shiva, and then you have to partake of the offering too, and then it can be handed over to the priest or the people who are going to be parting at the ceremony. And I'm like, no, man. I say, no, Papa, I don't do coke. I say, I smoke a little bud with your deity. I say, but I ain't finna snort shit. They like, well, we can't take it. We want our money back. And man, you just paid motherfucking 8 grand for this shit, bill. I cannot give you the money back. So what's a nigga to do? What's a nigga to do? And they're gonna be G. It is what it is. I gotta pass. So I go over there and I know how to approach an altar. So I approached the altar with reverence. I bent down, bowed my head, got on my knees, and I bowed 3 times. I stood up, I bowed, got down, bowed 3 more times. I stood up, said a prayer, got down on my knees, bowed 3 more times. That's 9 prayers. I meant 9 bows. And then I stepped backwards 2 steps. Then I stepped forward 5 steps. And they were like, how you know how to give reverence? Well, they asked me while I was doing it, but they brought that up. So right before I did that, I saw that there was a secondary deity to which I didn't know the name of, people. But, hey, I understand spirituality at that time because of grandma. So they had what I like to call the version of Elegba. It's like a little black stone with flowers and stuff draped around it with milk poured over it. So I picked up the milk, the thistle with the milk in it, and I poured it on top of the stone. Then I sat up there and I took a bit out of it and I sprinkled the little cocaine, in front of the stone on the ground. Then, I took a little bit and I just took a pinch and like kind of sniffed it real quick. And then I went back up to the big giant deity that was standing on one leg, with all the arms and stuff. So I went back up to that one. And I bypassed the little black stone that I adorned first. Then I got behind that one and did kind of the same. So I took it, I got a nice little pinch of it, and I sprinkled it on the altar, and let me tell you something, people. It looked like that sprinkle was never gonna stop. I just kept rubbing my fingers thinking it was getting off, and I ain't see nothing but powder, dust like baby powder just keep flowing. And maybe I was tripping at that time, but it just kept on. So then I said, okay, cool. So finally done it. So then, I laid down a couple of fruits and stuff because they selling fruit at the front door to where you can adorn the deity as well. So I, paid $20 of my own money. I put the fruit down in front of the statue, the deity, and everything. Then, I took a little bit of the coke and I real quick hit it myself. I ain't never done drugs like that, never did coke in my life, and I'm confessing here. So I thought that was it. So they give me the money. Boom, I'm sitting around with 8 stacks in my pocket. I'm sitting around chilling. So now I'm all fucked up. Everything looking weird. So now the party getting started, the liquor flowing, everybody jumping up and dancing, 3 or 4 people coming out doing machete dances and ceremonial dress and shit. I'm like, I ain't never seen nothing like this. This some heavy shit, and I'm seeing the women doing the little Bollywood hip tossing and shit with the tambourines on the finger type shit. And I say, I'm tripping, man. I say, this shit in my head. I say, nigga, hold this together. I'm on that level. So then they come walk out a goat, people. Listen to me, man. This wasn't no baby goat. This bitch was a real goat. Like horns and all. Goat. So they come walking the motherfucker out there on the road. And they tied the little goat to a post. And they sitting out there dancing. They dancing with the goat. They rubbing on the goat. They rubbing all kind of oils and shit on the goat. And I'm sitting out there laughing. So now I'm feeling motherfucking good. And I ain't even gonna trip. I'm feeling pumped up and jazzed up like a motherfucker. Bitch, I'm up there hopping down, twisting my ass, jumping up and down with them. And everybody handing me drinks. And we partying and everybody sitting around and shit. I ain't having no shoes because they won't let you in the building with shoes on. So I'm motherfucking out there chilling, bitch. I'm doing it. I'm rolling, man. So all of a sudden, no matter how high everybody was, the music stopped. I heard that drum hit. Boom, boom. The music stopped. Everything silent. Nobody was talking. A dude wearing red and yellow. I remember it like it was yesterday. Wearing red and yellow, and he had an afro. He wasn't like, he looked at Guyanese, but his hair was nappy as fuck like mine, like an afro. But it was picked out like a motherfucker. So he came out that bitch with a machete in his hand, and his machete was silver and adorned with all kind of bedazzled jewels and shit on the handle. And they had 2 girls. The girls had to be like 15, 16. Couldn't be no older than 12. Couldn't be no older than 15, but they looked like 12 young. They were slim little things. So as he was up there, he picked up the machete. After he said his little blessings, his prayers, he picked up the machete, people, and he chopped the head of the goat off in front of me. Motherfucker was strong because he did it in one strike. That knife went through that goat neck. That goat fell on the ground. The head rolled on the ground, hit the ground first, then the goat hit the ground. The girls threw that purple, they were holding a purple sheet like handkerchief, silk, They threw that motherfucker over the goat. And that man said 1 or 2 more prayers. The goat feet started kicking, and he grabbed the sheet and pulled the bitch off. The goat stood right back up. Bitch, I say, this is not the way. Bitch, this is shit. If I was the Mandalorian, bitch, this is not the way. And I said, oh, hey, hold up, oh. So now I'm spazzing out. So now I'm like, man, I'm hot. This shit is too much for me. I don't know, man. I ain't do nothing but take a little sniff. I say, I ain't cut no line like I-4. I say, I can't take this shit, man. I'm spazzing out. Like, bitch, it's a zombie goat. I'm saying everything. People listen to me good. This shit may be funny to you, but I'm fucked up here. So after the goat come up, the music start back up, and they praying to the goat. Then they tie the goat to the deity, and as they tie the goat to the deity, everybody dancing around the goat. Everybody dancing around the goat and shit, man. They dance around the deity because it was in the center of the flow. And then at the end, they hit the goat again. They hit the goat again in the head and cut. And this time they really cut the head off, and they didn't throw the sheet over the purple sheet over the goat this time. And the goat blood got picked up, and they was just like shaking it at the foot of the thing, and they made it drip down the tongue of the deity, and everybody happy and happy and happy. And I'm like, what's going on, man? So I'm like, okay, I'm fucked up. These drugs ain't for me, man. I'm like, I don't stick to my little weed, man. This shit fucked up. So after it was over, they finally let me, leave and shit. And they like, be safe, thank you. And everybody sitting up there handing me different kind of flowers, and they handed me different kind of handkerchiefs and scarves and shit. And I'm just like, yeah, motherfucker, I'm enjoying myself. I'm getting out of here. I'm rubbing on girls' asses and shit because I'm so high, and now they just blushing and smiling at me and shit. I'm like, man, these motherfuckers cool. They can party. They right for it. So I go up the road, because keep in mind, I live at 4413 Edgemore, so that one number less than a block away. So I hop in the Cadillac, and I drove, boom, I'm right there. I'm sitting down in the parking lot of the complex. I walk in the house, and I lay down on my mama and them couch and shit. So I'm sleeping this shit off. I still got all the money in my pocket. I still got all the handkerchiefs and scarves in my pocket. So the next day I wake up and I say, hey, Grandma, what's going on, Grandma? Can I come talk to you? She like, I'm home. So, I go to the store and I get her some tobacco. And Grandma right now, she damn near ancestor to me. So I never go to my grandma's house without some tobacco, hot dogs, or grits. Remember that. That's what I feed her on her birthday. So I go to grandma's house. I go get her some tobacco, Levi Garrett Red Man Golden Blend. And I go get her tobacco, and I go, Grandma. I said, Grandma, I think I did a ceremony last night, a ritual. She's like, oh, yeah, what was it, baby? She all happy, smiling. I say, it wasn't for me. I say, it was for the Hindu people, man, the little Guyanese people. She talking about the one at that motherfucking warehouse? I say, yes, ma'am. She say, what them bitches had you do? I say, they had me, take some drugs and get some drugs like cocaine to the deity, because I brought it. I went and got it from Aunt them. So, she like, they made you do what? Don't they know you got to test the shit? You got to drink your offering, eat your offering before you give it to them? Don't they know that? So they got my boy doing motherfucking coke? I say, yeah. I say, Grandma, it was $8,000. I got the money here. I say, I couldn't say no. I owe that money to people. She said, get in the car. Get in the goddamn car. I said, yes, ma'am. So I hop in the car. So me and Grandma go up there, right? I'm finna, people, this shit is freaky as fuck. So we go up there, and we turn in the driveway. So all the ceremony, festivities, tables, and fruits, even the statue of the deity, it was gone. It was like a Alice in Wonderland fairy tale type shit, man. It was gone. So I say, Grandma, that's the one. He was the one, with his face painted up red and shit, the dots and the stripes on his face and lips. And she went over there and she say, and she called him by name. I kid you not. She say, Nagrog, what the fuck you got my grandbaby doing this type of shit for? And he like, Gunju, give me one, baby. Give me a kiss. Give me, he flirting. Don't motherfucking kiss me, bitch. Answer my question. I didn't know he was your grandson. But let me tell you, the boy take the spirit like a natural. He's like, the boy take the spirit like a ship to the water. He flow with it. He flow with it, Gunju. That boy good boy. That boy good boy. And she was like, where the deity? Where the deity so I could take his offering back? He don't need the blessing from Shiva. He don't need the blessing from Shiva. Not now. Not now. He too young. And then, so Negrog and Grandma start bitching, man, and they were fighting. And he like, no, he's 21, 22. He can take the blessing. He gave the offering. She gave him his blessing. He is protected now. He is protected by Shiva. Fuck you. Fuck you, Agunju. Fuck you. And Grandma, no, fuck you, you bitch. And they just doing the whole fuck you. I kick your ass. Your deity ain't stronger than my ancestors. They going at it, baby. So I stepped in and I say, so what you mean, man? I'm protected. I say, I don't speak that language. I ain't never heard of no fucking Christian, no nothing, man. I say, man, you fix motherfucking tires, bro. I say, what the fuck? You had me high. And they was like, you participated. You are protected. We gave the offering. You delivered. You gave gifts. I didn't tell you to purchase the fruit. I didn't tell you to do it. You done it. I didn't tell you to bow 9 times. I didn't tell you. You did it on your own. So you adore and you embrace and you have the protection. And I'm like, man. So Grandma like, so you telling me ain't nothing gonna happen to him? Y'all ain't try to take his soul? Y'all ain't offer him up since he ain't one of y'all motherfuckers? This wasn't that type of ceremony, Gunju. This is for blessings. All us was here. So she was like, oh. And that's when she started like, coming to it. She said, it was the whole community? Yeah. So I don't know what day it was, people, but evidently there's a day where the whole Hindu culture get together and worship Krishna, Shiva, either one. They worship them on that day and they throw a big celebration and they, offer up a goat or something. And I was like, whoa. And Grandma looked at me and she said, baby, you gonna be okay? How you feel? And Grandma kept rubbing my head. So he came over me. He said, now, you cannot eat any meat. You can't eat any meat for 90 days. If you eat any meat for 90 days, the blessing will leave you. So now I know Grandma and I know Grandma about business with magic. So now I just got the blessing of another deity, right? So I say, okay, no meat. Let me tell you, it was hard eating salad and shit, salad and biscuits and milk and shit, trying to stay full. So for 90 days, I ain't eat no meat. And I was eating a lot of fucking processed food, like Subway was hot, so I was eating that veggie sub, fully loaded with the veggie patty, not the vegetables alone and bread. So I did that. So I found myself having these dreams where I had to keep going back to Negrog. I say, Negrog, man, I say, I'm tripping. By then, he had moved the warehouse to over there off of John Street in Orla Vista in Orlando area. And the little beige warehouse is right back there next to the dead end. So he had moved to that and he like, come see me. So he at the tire shop, he give me the address. I shoot over there over there off of John Street to the other warehouse. I walk in and it was set up just like it was at the party. They moved this thing in less than 24 hours. These people are good. So he say, go to the altar. He say, bow down at the altar. And I'm like, all right. So I bow down at the altar. He asked me one question. Do you have any problem with giving sacrifices? I say, that's killing animals. He like, yeah. I say, no, I done it before. He say, you'll fit right in. He say, now you come to the temple meeting and we'll bless you in. And people, let me tell you something. I was terrified because I seen a goat get his head chopped off. And the bitch stood back up. Then they killed it later. They displayed the power of Shiva. Nah. Then, I watch Indiana Jones and I hate to be so motherfucking stereotypical, but shit, it is what fuck it. So, I seen the dude, bada biscuit bar, and they all looked similar to him, and that man stuck his hand in that dude's chest and pulled out his heart. So I'm in my motherfucking trip out zone. No, they not finna take my motherfucking heart. So I'm like, no, I appreciate it, bro, but I got to get the fuck out of here. You know, your boy trembling, I'm shaking. So about 4, 5 months passed, 6 months passed. So I'm seeing the grog on a regular basis. The grog, he like, cause he was cutting grass too. So I seen the grog cutting people grass in Ola Vista. And I'm like, what up, the grog? He say, miss you at the temple, miss you at the meeting. We need to see you. Come on, brother, you one of us now. He kept saying that, he kept saying that, he kept saying that. Now, people, that wasn't the creepy part of this motherfucking story. That's context. Let's get into the creepy part of this shit. So I say, okay. So about 5, 6 months passed. I'm in a drug exchange again. This time I'm in a drug exchange with some Asian cats. And the Asian cats, they was over there off of East Side, Colonial Drive, east side of town. And they were like, okay, we finna do this. Now, I ain't never seen no Asians as hard as gangbangers and shit as back in 20 years ago. I ain't see this type of shit. These Asians were hard as Mexicans, boy. They were hard, boy. So it was just me. It was me, Coon, about 2 other dudes. So, you know, I mean, I'm strapped. I'm real for mine. You know, it is what it is, bitch. I'm going to get my money. So I come in there and I bring them some coke. So, okay, let's ride. So when they walked up to me, they just didn't look right. They was moving like animation, like clay animation, like they was walking and stopping. They were walking and stopping. They were walking and stopping. Like every time they take one step, they body like, and if I could describe it like the TV glitches, but in real life. But they wasn't pixelating or nothing. They were just like that step by step walking shit. Fucked me up, right? Imagine that little bitch that came down the stairs on The Grudge, how she was moving all stiff and crackling her bones and shit and fucking me up like that. So I say, damn, these people ain't right. So I say, something wrong. So, you know, I fell back. I say, hey, Coon. I say, Coon, put your hand on your trigger now. I say, put your hand on your trigger. I'm finna step in front of you so you can have that bitch pulled out. So in case anything, I say, I want you to hit the little slim one because it seems like he the one ain't doing nothing and he got his hand in his pocket. I say, hit him first. You know, the other 3, they just moving funny to me. So I stepped in front of Coon. Coon pull out the scrap. Okay, we finna do this. Okay, Coon, good, nigga. So I step away from Coon and I step up and I got my bags and shit. And I'm like, hey, man, you got me? And they like, yeah, I got you. So they start speaking some form of Asian dialect to each other. So I'm like, okay, maybe the other cats don't speak the language. So then out of nowhere, lightning struck in the background. And what I seen when lightning struck in the background was the many deity, Hindu deity. I'm not that familiar, so I ain't butchering it. Shiva or Krishna, I think. Yeah, Shiva. And the lightning struck and I seen Shiva standing behind them in like broad daylight, flesh and blood, me and you. The skin was kind of like purple, not blue, but because it set a contrast against this background at night. And when he did that, instead of his hand being pointed up like he was meditating, pointing 2 fingers up in the air against his lips, they were like a clock pointing at this one and this one. So I said, okay. So I'm tripping, right? I'm like, man, I'm tripping. So I told Coon, tapped him twice. I'm Coon, point at that one, hit the gun at that one. So as soon as I pointed, the Asian dude went to pull out the heat, and they were gonna blast us at night. Went to pull out the heat. Tell me why this man, when he stuck his hand in his pocket and he went to pull out the heat, before he could lift the bitch up to shoot at us, it ended up shooting his homeboy in the ankle. Bah! So then the other homeboy saw the quiet slim one started screaming. So they look at us and they see we ain't pull out our scrap yet because the shit was happening so fast. So they look at each other. Man, every last single one of the Asians that was there turned around and I say unalived that boy that they was with, their own teammate. So now we pulling out our shit. And I say, what's this, dude? I say, why y'all shooting the dude in front of us? Y'all trying to pin some shit on us, man? What the fuck? Knowing I'm seeing Shiva behind him doing this shit. So like, no, it ain't like that. And Shiva pointed at the other one. When she pointed at the other one, I keep saying she, when he pointed at the other one, he touched him on the collar. That dude pulled out the pistol, and then he ended up shooting at the other two, like, and running, jumped in the car and took off. They like, what's going on? Who are you guys? Where you get these guys from? So the Asian cats that was finna buy the dope from us, they come run behind us, and they get behind our car. So now, the slim dude who was a leader, he shot twice, bum bum. The heavyset dude that was to his left, the first one, Shiva touched, he got bullets in his ass. They done him. They done him. Fuck it, it is what it is. Allegedly, they done him. Bum. So the other one that started shooting, man, get this. 3 more agents came from behind the building because we was over there by the post office on East Colonial. I'm just being G with you. They came from around that motherfucker. Boom. When they came from around there, they were finna rob us, but they ended up hurting themselves. So the other one that was it, I said, man, get in the car. I say, I don't know these niggas. Get in the car. So while they over there fighting each other, we hop our ass in the car. So when we hop in the car, we speed off, knowing this dude got the bag with the money, and we got his coat. So it's a win-win for us. I said, man, where we gonna drop you off at, man? You know, Bill, he started praying in some Asian language and shit like this. So as he praying in the Asian language, I look behind him. Shiva was behind him, because I'm in the front seat, and I look in the back seat. Shiva is in the back seat with him, you know, got her hand on his shoulder. Got his hand on his shoulder. And I'm sitting up there like, dude, you know, nah, bitch. I'm like, okay, nigga, I'm done. So while he was praying, I started understanding the Asian dialect. And he was just like, oh God, oh Buddha. He was saying something like, just basically like saying, oh God, protect me. This is not my fate. This is not my destiny. Protect me. Shiva wrapped hands around him and start like hugging him on his shoulder. Well, merciful as fuck. So I'm seeing this. So I say, where we dropping you off at? So people, guess where I had to drop him off at? I drove him back to my neighborhood. I dropped him off in front of Magic Fry. When I dropped him off in front of Magic Fry, he sat on the park bench and he called his people to come get him, because it was a payphone back then. It wasn't cell phones too good. I think they had Primeco. I want to say Primeco. Yeah, Primeco. But I know he dialed the number on the Primeco phone. Then he went up there to the payphone and called somebody. So I said, we need to sit with him. And he said, you can't be here when they get here. Now, keep in mind, he didn't speak no English. The bitch, I'm understanding right, or he speaking fluent fucking English. You can't be here when he get here. He say, I'm not gonna make it. He say, here's the money. Give me the bag that may save me. And we like, okay, shit, cool. We can't do nothing about what you finna happen to you, homeboy, but you know, God bless you. So I drove away feeling bad. As I'm driving away, I look in the rear view and I see Shiva sitting up there, you know, standing next to him. And now she back in that standing on one leg praying mode with her hand against her mouth, like praying for him. And I could see the lips move, like with the prayer. And I'm like, man, something happened. And do you know, I never seen that dude again. But when I used to go to Magic Friday, they had a dude out there working by the name of Billy. And Billy knew who I was, and I never seen the dude before. Billy like, Taik, you a good man, Taik. You a good man, Taik. So back in the day, people, this is two-parter now. Back in the day, Magic Friday ran by the Korean mafia. Go figure that shit. In the middle of the hood. And the drugs were being funneled out of there from the Korean mafia. And look how shit work out, man. Directly across the street, they worshiping Shiva. And Shiva protected me from that shootout. I could have been dead. And that's not even my religious, my deity, my heritage, right? then protected the little Asian dude, the little Korean dude who had to go back to Magic Fry because he wasn't built like that. People, ain't that some crazy shit? If I could turn this bitch into a movie, I would, but nobody will believe me. But my cousin, them, Coon, and everybody that were with me, they'll be like, dude, you tripping? You were speaking Chinese. They were saying all kind of shit. And they were like, you just knew what was going on before going on. They say before these niggas even started blasting, boy, you had already warned me who to shoot at. And they're like, nigga, you real for it. They like laughing and shit. They're like, nigga, you protected. They like, you protected. They calling me the Holy One and shit. And so after it was all over, so I went back over there. I say, Negron, let me talk to you, man. And I explained to Negron what happened. He couldn't stop laughing. You got some milk? Go to the store, get some milk. Put some milk on the stone. Put some milk on the stone today. Put some milk on the stone. He couldn't stop laughing, so I just did what he said. Man, I never talked to them people again. I was just that afraid. Because I seen this shit happen. These gunfires, man, somebody's got off in front of me. I wasn't ready for that yet. I mean, it is what it is. I transitioned to that type. But I wasn't ready right then, man. And all this spiritual shit. And then the Asian people, the deity protecting them. Man, I was fucked up, y'all. So I'm going to leave it at that. I don't know what to say. It's a true thing, people. So I let it go. I'm tight. Telling y'all. Sometimes truth is stranger than fiction, but it's the truth, no doubt. Y'all have a good one. Stay blessed.